Hey, what's going on, guys? With our latest Half-Life update, they introduced a Funk Vehicle, which is a drivable vehicle in Half-Life, and some of you when I did my last video, I showcased how that works in game, and a lot of you guys had suggested, or that you were looking forward to seeing a Funk Vehicle in a Deathmatch map. So that's what I'm doing here. Trying to build a Deathmatch map. You can see I'm making these warehouses right here. That's the idea for this map, inspired by a real world location, place I used to work. It's going to be 6 warehouses. Trying to get the texture right. You can see what I'm doing here. I got this, really like this interior warehouse texture. So it'll be 6 warehouses that are separated in a sort of shipping yard. And the plan is to have a few different vehicles that you can drive around in this area. I'm going to put in the Black Mesa truck, maybe some forklifts. There's a few prefabs out there, so I won't have to reinvent the wheel, but maybe a full-size tractor trailer. Who knows? Got these big gates. I don't plan on making them openable. But let's see what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of giving you live commentary on this sped up preview here. Yeah, so the idea is to have sort of a map that doesn't have a lot of verticality, so that the focus is on the vehicles and not so much climbing up and down. That way, you know, you're not getting sniped from on top of these buildings or something. So, about done with my first warehouse here, and I'm going to copy it over 6 times. And one of my main concerns was, is the map going to be too big? Will Gold Source allow me to make large open areas? So I think it'll be okay. This one I jacked up. This will be the little loading dock. And they're all going to be different. They're all going to contain different stuff. You'll see. So it won't look, even though I literally copied and pasted them, it won't look copy and pasted. So with the loading dock, you're going to have a few ramps, and you can drive the vehicles up into the warehouses. But as for now, the other warehouses are flat ground. This was done in about 2 hours with breaks. And I wanted to have the warehouses in a industrial setting, not necessarily boxed in. So I was going to create some out of bounds areas that you'd see through these fences here. And when I play tested, I noticed this was actually a lot smaller than I had imagined as far as the vehicles go. And I'll show you a short preview at the end. I can tell you now it's a work in progress. Wasn't really sure which fence texture I liked. I think I'm gonna ditch the pink one and stick with the traditional fence here. Alright, this is going to be sort of an office building. My plan is to make it that you can go inside and there'll be a few offices and desks and then stuff like that. Like I said, I don't really want any verticality, but I also would like some sort of method for getting from one side to the other without, crossing the yard. So I might have some sewer systems that will connect underground, just so you can kind of pop up on the other side of the map. I haven't done that yet. There's going to be a second office. You can see I'm attaching the clip texture to the back side of the fence. And then here I'm building a sort of out of bounds road. Sidewalk. Some grass. But I think what I might come back later and do is just make a full accessible road around the warehouses. That way it'll give you more room to drive around and mow people over. Probably gonna need some beta testers, and the tricky thing about Half-Life maps versus, say, making a mod is if I was going to make incremental updates, you could do that with a mod pretty much easier than you could with just a map, because once the map file's out there, you really don't want to have a bunch of different people with conflicting versions of the map. So maybe I'll just leave it to my subscribers here to download and beta test the map, but this time it's not available at the time of publishing the video. So here's going to be the facade for this sort of out of bounds industrial area. Trying to give it a little bit of character. But it's also going to keep that gold source look. Do plan on giving this map a lot of detail, like, telephone poles and electrical boxes. Alright, I was talking about that clip texture, so all the out of bounds areas are getting that clip texture. That way nothing renders that the player would never see. As far as Half-Life maps go, this is going to be a large open area. As far as normally Half-Life maps consist of corridors. So, like I said, I don't know how this is going to do, but it should be fine, I think. For those of you who are experienced with the engine, maybe you can leave a comment and tell me what I'm doing wrong here or why this is going to fail. Started off with putting just sky at the end of the road. Now I am encasing the entire map in a skybox. But now you can see the road coming together now. Honestly, I don't know how the vehicles would do with those curbs. I know the vehicles can go up ramps and slopes, but I don't know about I don't know if they have a step up like the player does. So I might have to put some invisible wedges around the sidewalk. Here's the classic gate, the Half-Life gate. Just helps close in the map. If this was realistic, there wouldn't be anything like this. The alternative would be to take the road to a right angle so that the edge of the map is out of view. But decided to put this in here. You'd be able to see it through the fences, and this is still technically part of the out of bounds backdrop. I know the hardcore mappers are going to hate this, but it's what I wanted to do. But hey, at this point you can tell it's starting to look like something, right? At the end of this, I did find 3 leaks. And luckily Jack shows you where they are, so that's great. Textures are subject to change at any time. So I put this wall in just to kind of section it off, but I think that wall is going to have to go since this is a vehicle map. Right now I'm building racks, storage racks in these warehouses that will have crates and barrels and mechanical junk. And you're about to see what these are going to look like. The trick with this is to use funk detail when you can. That basically makes the geometry a prop, but it's still geometry as far as the engine's concerned. So 2 warehouses will have these rack sets in them. Others will just have the larger crate vaults, and you'll see that. I haven't loaded up the racks yet. I'll do that next time. Just gotta squeeze this one in here. Let's make it fit. At this point I realized I did not make them exactly how I wanted before I copied them over, so I'm fixing each one. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but I chose to do it the hard way. Alright, we're in another warehouse now, and this is those large vaults I was talking about. I imagine the player will spawn on some of these. Maybe make some way to get up there and grab the weapons that are tucked up in there. I haven't decided if I want to make some of them enterable, but here you can see I'm given a little variety. Some have the fragile message on it. Some of them are, you can see that soggy one in the middle. And luckily they fit too high within the warehouse. Stick a few short ones in there. Okay, that one's done. This one's gonna have classic Black Mesa container in there. I might go into see if I can find the blue and yellow ones that they use in Uplink, but that texture is not included with the original Half-Life textures for some reason. But once you get these the way you like them, they're pretty easy to just copy over. I haven't made any of these, given it any of these interiors. Might do it to one of them or so. Alright, this is the clip brush, and it will keep the player from going out of bounds. So I'm sort of just boxing the player in that way. And like I mentioned, I didn't want any too much verticality, so although it's tempting to have the players be able to get on top of the warehouses, I opted against it. So I'm putting the clip brushes on top of the buildings. Grouping them together just so you can make them invisible at the same time, using the viz groups. And these warehouses are going to be pretty dark, so we're going to put a few skylights in there, and using a light surface, just going to make them look great. That large one there at the bottom on the floor is just so I can accurately judge the distance. Now copy them over to the other warehouses. Just want them evenly spaced out, you know. Alright, so here's a preview of in-game, and I just dropped one of these little trucks in there. And already I'm experiencing how weird these vehicles are. And how small the map seems once you put vehicles in it. So I'll have to work out the kinks. For example, I'm going to have to remove some of these middle racks here just so you can drive through. Or adjust the vehicle's turn radius if that's possible. Take out that wall, and you can see why I wanted to open up the exterior area so you could perhaps drive around the whole lot. But let me know what you guys think. If you have any comments or suggestions, I think there's definitely some potential here. And there's the vehicle getting clipped through the wall, so that's a little ridiculous. But right now this vehicle has no damage associated with it. There's a property so that if you get crushed by a vehicle, you will die. That wall needs to go. And something I was thinking is it's going to be really loud with a bunch of vehicles. So maybe I'll just limit it to like 1 or 2, which would be kind of cool because just like in sub-transit, the players will fight over the vehicles. But yeah, I definitely want to put a forklift in here so you could play as Gus, of course. Well, that's what I got so far, and let me know what you think. You can see somehow the ramp messed up the feng shui with this vehicle, so cool, lovely.